Welcome to English with Abby and Tori. I'm Abby. Today we will talk about 3 words in English that are confusing. The 3 words are another, other, and others. These are words that are used all the time in English. If you speak with a native speaker, I am 99% sure you will hear one of these words. So the 3 words sound very similar. 2 of them have similar uses, and the other, an example, is different. Do you see what I mean about how you will hear them almost all the time in English? So, another and other are called determiners, and that means they show how much of something in a sentence. How much of something, or the quantity of something in a sentence. And then others, even though it is very similar to other, just with an S, is usually a pronoun, a plural pronoun, meaning it takes the place of a noun. So let's start with another. Another, like I said, is a determiner, so it shows how much of something in a sentence. Another is used only with single countable nouns. With single countable nouns. Single meaning one, just one, not when a noun is plural. And then only with countable nouns. Countable means that it is a noun, it is a person, place, thing that you can count. You can look at it and you can count. I have 5 books. Books is countable. You can count how many books you have. Or, for example, plates or pictures or toys. Those are all countable because you can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Uncountable nouns are things like peace, happiness, joy. Those types of things you cannot count. You can't look at peace and count how much peace you have. And so another is used with single countable nouns. 2 examples here. Can I have another cup of coffee? You see here we have another. Can I have another cup of coffee? Cup is the countable noun. He's not saying, can I have another coffee, even though that would work. You could also say, can I have another coffee, please? Because coffee is a countable noun. But in this case, cup is actually the countable noun with another. Can I have another cup of coffee? Can I have another cup of coffee? And another here, meaning just one more cup of coffee. Can I have another cup of coffee? Another cup of coffee, just one more cup of coffee. The second one, show me another shirt, please. Show me another shirt, please. So we see another here used with the countable noun shirt, just one, single, just one. Show me another shirt, please. And so another meaning just one more shirt, just one more shirt. And then here is a way you cannot use the word another. Can I have another coffees? Can I have another coffees? This is incorrect because coffees is plural. If it was singular, like I said earlier, it would work. Can I have another coffee? Just saying coffee here means cup of coffee. Can I have another coffee? That would mean a cup of coffee. So a lot of the time in English, we'll just say coffee when talking about a cup of coffee. Can I have another coffee? So another is used only with single countable nouns. It usually means, can I have one more? It means that you've already had something and you want to have it again. Can I have another cup of coffee? Show me another shirt, please. I want a different shirt. I want one more shirt. I want one more cup of coffee. Okay, now let's talk about other. The next determiner we will talk about is other. Remember, another and other are both determiners, meaning they tell you how much of something in a sentence. Other is used with plural or uncountable nouns. So other can be used with both plural countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Plural means more than one. So other can be used with plural nouns or a noun that is multiple, more than one. And it can be used with uncountable nouns. Like I mentioned before, uncountable nouns are nouns that you cannot count. Like I gave an example of peace or joy, information is one, something that you cannot count. You can't count it. So 2 examples here. Do you have other books to recommend? Do you have other books to recommend? So we have other here, other books to recommend. Books being the plural noun in this sentence. Other books to recommend. Books is plural. Other books, other means, while another means just one more, other means could mean multiple. Other means multiple, not just one more. If you said, do you have another book to recommend, that would just be one more book, while other books means multiple books. And then the next example, we need to find other information. We need to find other information. Information is an uncountable noun. You can't count information that you have. Other here, just meaning more information. We need to find other information. We need to find more pieces of information, more information in order to know what's going on. So here we have books, a plural noun, and information, an uncountable noun, both used with other in the sentence. One tip to remember with other is always followed by a noun. Other cannot stand by itself. It's always followed by a noun. You couldn't say, do you have other, or I need to find other. Another can stand by itself. You could say, if the person already knows what you are talking about, you could say, oh, do you have another? Do you have another? And if they know you're talking about books, then you don't need to add in another book. You could say, oh, do you have another? And they would know it's books or a book. Other, on the other hand, is a common phrase used in English. Other, on the other hand, cannot stand by itself. It has to be followed by a noun. All right, now let's talk about how to use others. Okay, the final confusing word we will talk about is others. Others being different from others. Others is a pronoun. It is a plural pronoun, so it is only used with plural nouns. A pronoun is a word that replaces nouns or takes the place of nouns in a sentence. You only use pronouns, specifically others, when the noun of the sentence is clear. You have to make sure the noun of the sentence is clear, and then you can switch it out for a pronoun. Other pronouns you probably know are he, she, it, we, and they, and you use those in sentences when the noun is already clear. This helps avoid repetition. So, others is a pronoun. It is a plural pronoun, and it means other people or other things. Other people or other things. And so, an example here, when it takes the place of the noun in the sentence, Some students like grammar, others prefer speaking. Some students like grammar, others prefer speaking. Others is the pronoun in the sentence. It takes the place of some students. Some students. Some students like grammar, others prefer speaking. So instead of saying some students like grammar, some students prefer speaking, we use others to avoid that repetition. Another example, I have many jackets. Some are new, others are old. I have many jackets. Some are new, others are old. This sentence is interesting because there are really two types of pronouns in the sentence, both referring to jackets as the noun. The first is some. Some are new, others are old. Really, you could say some are new, some are old. You could use some twice, but here it works better to not have that repetition. And because you're comparing them and saying some are new, others are old, because these are opposites. You want to really emphasize that in this sentence. So others refers to jackets. When you use others, when you replace the noun with others, you need to be sure that the noun is plural. Others cannot work with a singular noun, only a plural noun. So I hope that this was helpful for you, talking about another, other, and others. And if it was, please share with someone else who might find this video helpful. You can comment with your own sentence using one of these words, and we will be sure to respond. Or if you have any questions as well.